Tell us why you got into bodybuilding.
Okay, so um, my why actually goes back a fairly long time, like back into my childhood. Um, so I come from a fairly large family. Um, I have three brothers and three sisters, but growing up there was the six of us, so just two brothers and my little sister and my mom and dad. Um, I am the middle child, one of the middle children, and I felt like I was the child that had like the shitty genes. So, like, my two brothers were like specimens. They just had like beautiful physiques. My sister had like the hourglass shape with the booty. My mom, she could have actually just walked on stage and won her division in like bikini. She was just phenomenal, like in phenomenal shape, and she didn't have to work for it. She just had the body. And my dad was just like a fit man, a very good looking fit man. Um, and then there was me. I had a huge chest and no ass. And we were a poor family. So we ate like shit and we always ate late. So like everything that we ate, it seemed to just like go places that, it could have just gone to my ass. Like I wish it had went to my ass, but it didn't. It like went everywhere else. I wasn't obese, but I had a weird shape to my body. Um, like friends would call me fat behind my back, but I always heard it. Um, and, family members would call me fat. My mom would make comments about how, thick and big my arms are, and you're not fat, but I wouldn't get any bigger if I were you, kind of thing. So, with that coming from her, with the figure that she had, it really it hurt. It hurt a lot. So, in the you know middle of summer, the hottest days, you would find me in like a sweater. I would always try to hide my body. But where I could put muscle was like my legs. I had always had very, very muscular legs, which I got made fun of for, of course. So um, I always used to think to myself, like, someday I'm going to be the one in the family that shines. Like, I want to shine. So as I got older, like adult life, um, I started jogging and doing like aerobics and like hip hop abs, things like that. Just like little workout videos in my living room. I just like started very very basic, like body weight kind of training and things like that. And because I wasn't in the best, well, I'll say the healthiest relationship, so I couldn't go to the gym. Um, and then things kind of, I guess, happened and I got pregnant and it kind of made it worse for me. Um, and I didn't want to be one of those people that used pregnancy as an excuse to be, unfit or skinny fat. So after having my son, I worked like my ass off and lost like baby weight. I didn't actually have a lot of that to lose, but I worked my ass off. So, and then once I started feeling confident in myself, which I'm still not like even where I am right now, I still have body dysmorphia. I think a lot of athletes, bodybuilders have body dysmorphia. But, anyways, um, I decided to do a bikini competition. And after that bikini competition, I felt so good about myself. So I knew right then and there that I wanted to compete in something more. And what it was about that bikini competition was my legs. So I got made fun of because of the muscularity in my legs. So I took that and I thought, I'm going to build on this. So my relationship with my son's father ended, and I ended up getting into another relationship with someone that was very much into the gym, which was good for me. And I started working out like crazy, and a trainer at the gym told me that I had a very, very good base for competing. So that just pushed me even harder. So I started like pushing myself, and I was jogging like 10K a day. I was in absolute phenomenal shape. So I knew that I wanted to do a show, but I hadn't picked one yet. And then I was in school for dental assisting. I was doing amazing. I was at the top of my class and that. And so my partner at the time and we were, I skipped school that day, which I highly, I regret. We're on our way to pick up my son, and we were rear-ended at a red light. It was a pretty bad accident. It changed my life forever, even to this day still. That was in August of 2011. So, what happened in the accident was it crushed a disc in my neck, in my spine, and for years and years, it caused nerve damage down my left arm and debilitating migraines. So school, it suffered a lot. I couldn't go to school, had to do school from home. I still managed to graduate at the top of my class with honors, believe it or not, which was a huge accomplishment for me. But after years and years of assessments, poking and prodding from I don't know how many different doctors, I actually lost count over the years. I was seeing a pain specialist, and I would, every 2 weeks, I would go to Markham and receive over 50 nerve block injections. And after these nerve block injections, I would have to be carried from the car to my bed. And for days after, they would just leave me basically useless. I couldn't move just from the injection sites because they're just so painful, and there's so many of them. I would get them pretty much in the whole left and right side of my head, in the back, all down my neck, down my spine, and my shoulder. And facet injections as well, which after getting them, my blood pressure would drop so low they didn't even want to release me. And I had to be carried from them as well. My son was 2 when the accident happened. So it affected his life as well. He would say to me, "Hey Mom, do you remember when you used to be fun?" But he was really good about it. He used to zip up my coat for me and do laundry at his age. He was very good. I guess that's why he's the way he is today. But anyways, getting off track, I think, maybe. But anyways, so the accident was in 2011, and then for some reason my pain specialist, I would always ask him about like how surgery would work, and he never wanted me to have it. But I kept pushing it, and finally, because we went through so many years of these nerve blocks, and at first they would work for like maybe 2 hours. They would take the pain away for about 2 hours. I mean, any amount of time without the nerve pain, because it was so bad. Like, I guess I can compare it to sticking your hand in a bucket of ice cold water and leaving it there. That's the only way I can just kind of describe my pain, my nerve pain. But anyway, so having 2 hours without that pain, going through all those injections was kind of worth it. And then because I was having so many of them, like every 2 weeks, my body started like getting used to them. So they only started lasting about a half an hour. So it's like, this isn't worth it anymore. Like, what else can be done? So I said, like, I want surgery. So in 2018, so is that seven years of having all those injections, I was finally referred to a surgeon. And in October of 2018, I finally had a spinal surgery. So what they did was they, which is, I have a scar, which I guess is healed pretty good, but I see it. And when I see it, it's like flashbacks. And it crushes my soul. I have to like see it in the mirror. But what they did was they went through my throat and it was the C5, C6 disc. They removed it and put in a Mobi C replacement disc, so that I wouldn't have any loss of mobility in my neck. So that was all fine until it wasn't. So I had woken up, and I remember laying in the hospital bed, and I adjusted myself in my hospital bed, and all of a sudden there was this like the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. And I actually yelled out. I had some pretty significant pain medication too. And I still, like, this pain, it's like unexplainable, but I felt it. So when my surgeon came, I explained it, and I told him there's something wrong, and he didn't believe me. So he told me that I would be getting up to walk and I would be leaving that day. So, which was the day after my surgery. So to get up and start my physio. So what else could I do? I got up and started the physio. And Derek took me home. I had to wait 7 weeks for my follow-up. That was the longest 7 weeks of my life. The follow-up, I had an x-ray, and my surgeon looked at it, and no words came out of his mouth. But by the x-ray, I knew that it wasn't supposed to look like that. So your discs are supposed to be like this. The Mobi-C looked like a Pac-Man trying to eat like a little ball. So instead of being lined up like this, it was literally like this. And one of the top plate was slipped back like this. So after the surgeon sitting there for, I don't know, I think it was about 10 minutes, not saying anything to me, I finally asked him, so it's not supposed to look like that, is it? And he said no. So he was in disbelief, and he apologized immensely for not believing me that something was wrong when I tried to bring it to his attention. So he sent me home with exercises to try to bring it back into place, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. Like trying to strengthen the ligaments in my neck would push it back into place somehow. Something that's supposed to like fuse to my spine. I don't know. Anyways, I think he was just biding time. So 6 months later, they removed the disc before it slipped back and paralyzed me, and just did fusion. So now I had 2 surgeries. So the second one took place April of 2019. Went through the same spot and just removed the disc and fused it. So after months and months and physio and massages, I was feeling much, much better and stronger and more like myself every day, which is positive from this awful, awful story. And I started doing P90X and bodyweight exercises in the basement with Derek. And then, like, I guess fast forward a few years, I was in the basement working out. Like we have some equipment in our basement, like a little home gym kind of thing. And we also have like a big mirror. And I was working out, and so last January, I was kind of looking at my physique in the mirror, and I thought, it's time. It's time. So I came upstairs and I told Derek that I want to compete. I finally want to step on stage. After all these years, having my life taken from me, it was 11 years. Sorry. 11 years of being caged or handcuffed. I felt like it was time to finally get back to being me. So I found a coach and I started prepping. No bulking, which I kind of regret because I was still that young girl with no ass. I lost my big chest, which is completely fine, but don't miss them. But still no booty. I built it, but unfortunately, close to show day, I peaked like shit, and which was the judge's feedback, by the way. Peaked like shit, and my ass went flat. So I lost what I did build. Um, but yeah, but that is my why, is because I wanted to be the one in my family to shine. So bodybuilding, I never knew that bodybuilding was going to be the way for me to shine, but I knew that I wanted to have a physique that, I guess, fell into place with the rest of my family. So, and when I stepped on stage, I felt like I finally had that physique. I finally fell into place with the rest of my family. I felt like I measured up to my mom.
Tell us a bit about your show.
So show day was, oh my god, my bikini.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Colleen is so phenomenal. Oh my god. Show day was one of the most exciting days of my life, even though I knew that my peak didn't go the way it should have. I was so excited that I had made it to show day, because not everyone can do it. Not everyone can, prep.
I heard somewhere it was like 1%.
Yeah, it is. It's 1% of people make it.
To stage.
It's a very small number. So I was just so proud of myself that I had just jumped into it and just did it. When I was standing backstage waiting to go on, and so I was in 4 different categories, and so I did true novice, masters, and open. And obviously the day of show you have no water, no food, you're just completely depleted. So I had gone on and done my routine, and then I went to the back around to get in line for novice, I believe it was. And there was a guy there who rallies you up. I'm going to call him the backstage gorilla, because he was literally my height without heels, and I'm 5 feet tall. So my height without heels, and he was this wide, and he was not pleasant with me. Because I was always missing. So he's always yelling at me, where have you been? I've been looking everywhere for you. Get in line. I'm going to put a ball and chain on you. Anyways, after I came off the stage the first time, I started going into, hypoglycemic shock. And my throat was so dry because I was so dehydrated. A lot of people probably experienced this. This is probably not anything new, but I never experienced this. I had no idea what was really happening. So when I swallowed, it felt like I was swallowing razor blades. It hurt. So every time I swallowed, so I was already panicking because of the way I felt. But then when I swallowed, I started panicking more. So every time I swallowed, I was like having more and more and more anxiety. So I saw my, I don't want to call her my coach because at the time she wasn't, but I saw, I don't know, I saw her backstage, and she saw the panic in my face, and she kind of came up to me because she was getting ready to go on stage too. And she said to me, like, hey. And I said, like, I can't swallow. My mouth is so dry. I have to go on stage again. Like, I was basically saying, like, help me, help me. And she walked away from me, which completely blew me away. Like, I don't know, it just floors me. So, anyways, I went to line up because I was being called by the gorilla, and all of a sudden, this angel shows up out of nowhere. The bikini genie. And she goes, you are so pale. How she knew that under my skin and makeup, I have no idea. But she like grabbed my hand and pulled me like away from the stage, and the gorilla was yelling. She pulled me anyways. She said, I said, I gotta go line up. And she said, you're not gonna make it onto that stage if you don't come with me. So I got to her bag, and she literally jammed 2 handfuls of Skittles in my face and her water. And she told me to chug water with the Skittles. So I know I have a big smile, so it makes me look like I have a huge mouth, but I actually have a very tiny mouth. Okay, it's very small. So 2 of her handfuls of Skittles were like, my cheeks were like massive. So anyways, she shoves the water in my mouth too. So I'm trying to swallow some of the Skittles with the water. Anyways, she goes, chew those and swallow those before you get on. And then she like pushed me away. So I'm running with these Skittles and I'm trying to chew them, but my mouth is still very, very dry. Anyways, I line up and I'm waiting as the girl is yelling at me. And the girls that I'm lined up with start going, and they're sniffing. And start sniffing around my face. And they're like, oh my God, did you have Skittles? And my mouth was so full I couldn't answer. So the girl in front of me goes on, and I still have a mouthful. So I'm trying to swallow. And I have to go on, Skittles in my mouth. So as I walk on with a big smile, I have Skittles in my cheeks to go on for, I think it was novice it was. Went on, and I had to do my little pose. So every time I looked to the back, I was swallowing Skittles. But if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have even made it to novice or my master's or open. I wouldn't have made it. I would have, I think, passed out because I was literally having a panic attack. She was my angel. The bikini genie. When I lined up for the open, I looked at the women that I was lining up with, and I knew, it's the open, right? I knew that I was going to come dead last, and I did. But it was okay. Tears started coming to my eyes, and I started kind of hyperventilating, trying to hold them back. And the girls, they're so great. They were grabbing my hand and they said, just wait, like, not yet, not yet. And it was like everything I had been through, all the shit, like the shit storm, the accident, all the pain. It just, everything flashed before my eyes. And I didn't care that I was going to come last because it felt like I'd already won. Just making it and lining up with those women in all of my categories, I won.
So, what's the first thing you ate after your show and after all this hard work?
The first thing I ate was a Kai Kai's cookie.
What kind?
It was a Turtles.
Special edition.
Yes, a special edition Turtles Kai Kai's cookie.
I remember.
And I, when I smelled it, I don't even know if I had taken a bite yet. I think that, like, I cried. I started crying even before I took a bite because I hadn't had anything like that in, like, I can't even remember how long, like, I don't know, between 16 to 20 weeks. I hadn't had anything like that. So yeah, it was, oh my God, it was phenomenal. It really was.
And where'd you go for dinner?
We went to Beer Town and excuse me, sorry. I got I got a turkey burger with a lettuce bun.
That was a lot of lettuce.
Yeah, it was more like a turkey burger and a head of lettuce. And then I was very disappointed with this. I was looking forward to these sweet potato fries. The basket was like this big. So yeah. So then I started eating whatever Carter had. Like, he had like mac and cheese or something, and it had like chunks of chicken, I think.
Chicken or bacon?
Yeah, so I actually started eating his dinner. But then after that, we went back to the hotel and I finished that turtle's cookie in bed. And went to sleep. It did me in. Yeah.
And after all that, you're getting ready to prepare for another show. Or two.
Yeah. To be honest, when I walked off stage, my first show, I didn't know if I was ever gonna compete again because just of like how things ended. Like, the experience was great and everything went well, minus my peaking, but meeting people, the community of people, like, it's unreal, unexplainable. Like, you honestly, you think that people that look like that are going to be stuck up and very conceited. They're not. Like, um, Beth and I, the Bikini Genie, and I were sitting backstage, and people started sitting with us. Like, I met Rebecca or Kronk. I met her, and I just adore her. Like, and I still, like, I follow so many different people from my first show. People are just so real and sweet. Like, the girls that I lined up with that, grabbed my hand. It's just something that, you don't forget. That it just stays with you. So, um, yeah, it's amazing. So, as I was saying, that my first experience, it's not as if it was a bad one. It's just with everything that happened, like during my prep and along the way, I never thought I would compete again, but I don't know. It's like, it's in my blood, and I just need to. I need to do it for all those years I lost. And sometimes, I hope these like people that see this, that watch this, don't think that I'm like that this video is because I want people to feel sorry for me. That's not what this is. This is what I've been through to get to where I am now. It's made me stronger. It's definitely changed me. But it's also my why, because my attitude towards everything that I've been through is, excuse my language, but fuck you. For all the doctors and people that said, you'll never be able to get in the gym again. You'll never be able to, jog again. You'll never be able to, do this job again, or be in like, do this, do that. Fuck you, watch me. Just watch me. And look what I did. Look what I did last year. And look what I'm going to do this year. Because this year, I'm going to be even better. And I have a coach this year that's going to peak me properly. So, watch what I bring.
I mean, he is Mr. Canada.
Yeah, he is. So, but yeah, that's not what this video is. So, don't feel sorry for me, because I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. But this is what that's what I've been through to become what I am now. And to make myself even better. Like sometimes I think to myself, I have pity parties. Of course I do. I think most of us do. Sometimes I like say to Derek, if I wasn't in that fucking accident, if that day didn't fucking happen, maybe I'd be able to, like, my shoulder wouldn't look the way it does, or I wouldn't have this fucking scar, or like I'd be able to lift heavier. I wouldn't, have this injury or something like that. Because, I still have injuries because of that. But, like, I do say things like that, but it only makes me work harder. So, but that's it. Anyways, I guess that's where we end this video. Thanks for watching and listening. If you stayed with me this long, I really appreciate you listening to my long drawn out story. But I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you, and I hope that you guys will continue watching. Because, as I said, I'm only going to bring a better package to stage this year, and I really want you guys to see what I bring. So, once again, thank you, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.